Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at the upcoming promo character Ryker, who is of course going to be a 6-star promo character, and we're going to just kick it off with the stats: 1963 attack, 1350 defense and 1576 HP. Trait alert, of course, and the role is damage dealer. You kind of would expect that with that sort of attack stat. And when we move on to the rush, again, we're going to be seeing more damage coming out, as it is going to be dealing 2 attacks of 375% damage with 750% total to one enemy. This works the same way as Dwight Michonne, in that if he kills one with the first attack, it will attack someone else, which is great. This character and up to one teammate get 120% attack, which decreases by 60% each turn for 2 turns. That buff is insane, especially if he goes off first and then that buff goes on to someone else who's another damage dealer. The amount of damage output that second character will get is insane if they've got a rush lined up, which is just incredible, basically. Now, as we move on to his active skill, it is called Stun and Heal Reduction, and it has got an initial cooldown of 3 turns, and it stuns one enemy for 1 turn. That enemy gets 50% heal reduction for 2 turns. So potentially you could use this on someone that you are going to kill with basic attacks, but if they have a stun on defense weapon, you don't want to be stunned on defense. And if they kill them, they won't be able to get revived for those 2 turns. Could give you just a little bit of a chance to take out any revives that are remaining in a defense team. The stun active alone is pretty useful. However, of course, with stun resist now, that can be resisted. He has got a specialist skill as well, which is execution, which I think is actually quite an underrated specialist skill. It does instantly kill anybody who has 20% HP or less. And with the upcoming revive character that's being given out right now, you have to collect the snowballs, but that revives someone with 20% HP. So whoever gets revived by Solange will be instantly killed by anyone with execution, and Ryker is right here ready to do that. Now we move on to his weapon, and I think it's almost identical to Conrad's weapon, in that it is a slightly buffed up double attack weapon. 30% attack, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, and when attacking a better chance to make a second attack with 200% attack. I think the normal crafted one is 150% attack, and I'm pretty sure this is identical to Conrad's. This character is very strong, and I really like his utility based on the fact that he has that specialist skill. It's going to be like, he is going to be an executioner, basically, then, no pun intended. That rush is going to kill somebody, and the buff that it's going to give someone else could potentially just be so good. Like, especially if it goes to someone who's a multi-hit character, the damage output across 3, you know, if it went to a Mirabelle, for instance, the damage output is going to be absolutely huge. This character, I think, is really, really strong. The only downside, of course, is that his rush is a bit slow at 85. On an attack team, you would need AP on attack, like huge AP on attack, and potentially even having a huge AP lead like Andrea. Otherwise, he's going to be a bit too slow. He is the same speed as Andrea, and the same speed as Tyrese. He doesn't gain AP like Andrea does after doing the rush, so he's constantly going to take 3 turns to get his rush up. So the hope is he would get attacked, basically, so that he can get a little bit of AP, so get his rush every 2 turns and rush on the 3rd, or get commanded on the 2nd. That specialist skill, I think, is going to come in very, very useful, especially against these tanky teams. It can sometimes take a lot of basic attacks to take these guys down, and having someone that can just eliminate someone with 20% HP or less is quite useful. We have seen a character quite similar to this guy recently, who is Brian. They are a little bit similar, but I think they're different enough in that Ryker adds something that no other character really does in terms of the damage output, and it's mainly down to that specialist skill. It really is going to be quite useful. If someone gets their hands on this guy, I think they're going to see that specialist skill, especially on an attack team. On a defense team, because he's so slow, I'm not really sure of the viability, but defense team specialist skills, they generally do target someone who they can one-shot. Basically, if someone is at 19% HP and someone has execution, I've come up against Eugene's and he does just attack the person who he will execute. So it does seem to focus where the specialist skill will actually take place, which is very useful on a defense team. But on attack team, full control, you can, you know, it lights up basically when you can execute somebody, so you know when someone's got low enough HP to do it. In terms of pulling for this character, I think he is going to be very good on an attack team. but because of that rush speed, it might be not so great on a defense team. It's really going to be hard to tell. I think 85 AP is a bit expensive on the rush. However, if you use somebody like the recent Carly lead on a defense team and you had Ryker behind her, you could get a third turn rush if you had AP on his weapon, so it wouldn't be so bad. Do tell me what you think about this character. Are you going to pull for this guy? I would say he's a pretty decent, pull for an attack team, especially if you've got more aggressive characters on your attack team, because that, like I say, that 120% attack going to somebody else is just going to be vicious. But that's it in this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.